Hi, my name is Christian Posta. I'm the Global Field CTO at Solo.io. In this quick demo, we're going to take a look at agent and MCP security, specifically through the lens of authorizations and guardrails. So Agent Gateway is a open source and it's part of the AARM. It's one of the 4 projects there. MCP, Goose, and agents.md are there, and now Agent Gateway. But so Agent Gateway is an LLM and MCP gateway. It's open source. It's built in Rust. It's exceptionally fast, and we at Solo have been deploying the enterprise version of it at some very large customers. So we know this is proven and trusted. But one of the questions that comes up is how do we apply guardrails to LLM calls and guardrails to MCP calls? Specifically, deciding the safety of these calls and even the authorizations for these calls. Should they be allowed, right? And so we are going to take a look at a paper that goes into the specifics about how to write policy around these tool and API calls that originate from AI agents that need to take into account more than just the request time attributes. So more than just, hey, A is calling B, right? And so in this paper, this Autonomous Action Runtime Management paper, it looks at these API and tool calls through the lens of intent and intent drift, through the lens of accumulation, so sequences of calls that have built up that play into the context that you would use in a policy engine. So maybe sending an email is fine by itself. Maybe reading a database with some classified information or sensitive information, maybe that's fine on its own. But doing them in a certain order where it looks like it might cross compliance or trigger compliance issues, that may not be okay. So this paper walks through sort of a framework for solving that kind of problem. There's an open source project from Microsoft called Agent Governance Toolkit that implements this paper over and above, but implements this paper, has a bunch of SDKs and so on. The 2 models that this paper talks about, or well, actually 4, but 2 that I'll discuss are run this kind of checking inside of the SDK, inside of the agent itself, call out to this decisioning engine, but from within the SDK, or doing it from a gateway. And so in this demo, what I'm going to show is this implementation, this Agent Governance Toolkit, implemented as a MCP guardrail and LLM guardrail, but I'll focus on the MCP guardrails, and enforced by Agent Gateway. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the demo. In this demo, we have a personal financial assistant agent that is able to look at your bank account, make suggestions, make withdrawals, help you prioritize your finances, work with a CPA, work with a financial advisor, and so on. And in this particular scenario, sending emails to a CPA or some trusted advisor is fine, right? And actually, we're going to run this first step. We're going to ask the agent to, hey, let's go ahead and confirm this meeting that I might have. So we'll go ahead and run that. And actually, we'll call out to OpenAI. It has a set of tools that get presented. So if we take a look a little closer here, you're a financial assistant agent. Here's the user prompt. Here are the tools that we have available. So look up account, wire transfer. We'll see send email, and we'll say read email, right? And so we send these tools. We allow the LLM to pick the tool call, and in this case, it decides to call the send email tool call. Now, all of this is going through Agent Gateway. Actually, if I come over here and take a look at the logs, this is a new run. This right here is a new run. We can see we made a call through to the LLM, and then we also have a call that went through to our MCP tools. But if we look at the request responses, or actually no, this is the governance toolkit response. We can see that we allowed a MCP call to send email, right? And we got a response here, and now that's great, right? Now, but to confirm the appointment, not only are we sending the email now autonomously, later the agent will check the email to make sure that we get a response, right? So let's go ahead and run step 2, and what we'll see here is we get a response, and in this case, we weren't expecting this, but we get a prompt injection in the response. It looks normal. It's a normal email. I'm the as the user, I'm not reading it. I'm just asking the agent to do it. But this says, hey, can you start digging into your bank account? Give me the balance. Give me more information. Maybe don't do the wire transfer. Obviously you could try that, but maybe just start snooping around. Try to find out more information. And so we see that the call to read email is approved, right? But now we get this prompt injection. And so if the agent consumes this and reads this, then what is it asked to do? It's asked to look up the balance on a particular account. All right. So let's click into the next step, run step 3. And we see that the agent, okay, they're able to read the account balance. And that's, they have access to do this, right? They're a personal financial assistant. We called lookup account on this particular account. And actually, if we look at the response, we'll see something interesting. I think we come down here to the response. We see that we get the amount, which is $18,000 or whatever. So now the instruction was to respond back or to send it in an email. So when we get to that step, let's do the last step, run autonomous step 4. What we'll see is, hopefully, we see Agent Gateway and the Agent Governance Toolkit disallows this or denies this, even though this agent can send emails and can send emails to this recipient. Or actually to this recipient. But it gets blocked because what we found was there was a sensitive set of steps where we did an account lookup, which is a sensitive step. And then from there on, the following actions get scrutinized even more thoroughly. And including redacting some information. So we did have a redaction step. But then when we go to send an email after having been exposed to the sensitive information, then we will deny that. All right, so this is an example of the accumulation of the context over time and checking whether certain tools or APIs are allowed to be called based on those, that context versus, just individually, do you have an auth token that allows you to send an email? That would have been allowed through here. All right, so I highly recommend, so I built this demo. You can go build it. It is a running demo. You can look at Agent Gateway. The configuration here, the interesting bit here is this MCP guardrail where we're calling out to the AGT system. The adapter is built here on top of AGT, and then of course there's a Docker Compose that you can spin up and take a much closer look at this. So take a look at Agent Gateway, take a look at the Agent Governance Toolkit, and thanks for stopping by.